All right, boys. Let's get right into the news, I guess. Skill reveals Purifying Flame, Wave of Conviction, and Divine Ire. You know what? Maybe let's watch the video. Actually, now that I think about it. Kick in quality. Yeah, quality. There you go. Interesting. Does it have like a tiny range or? Ooh. This is the wave. Oh wow, this is very I don't know why this really hits me as like a D2 ability. It seems really boring, but I really like it. I don't know why. This is the sort of skill that I like a lot. Yeah, and this we know about. I think this skill is gonna be busted. If the numbers are good, I can't see how it wouldn't be. It's just got so much range. Yeah, I like that a lot. All holy themed skills are distinguished by dealing physical damage with a portion always converted to fire or lightning. You mean all physical skills are distinguished by this? Because there's like a trillion of them. That's like all you ever add. It's either skills that convert a portion of the damage to something else, or skills that you have to convert a portion of the damage to actually be able to deal damage. Like physical things just don't exist much. I wonder if they're ever gonna look into bleed, to be honest. But I mean, a lot of people seem to enjoy it, so I guess it's fine. Or in the case of Wave of Conviction, both. Whoa. This gives these skills more unique interactions with other aspects of the game, especially with the new physical and elemental passives found near the Templar area of the passive tree. Yeah. It's gonna be a very unique and interesting interaction, I'm sure. My build converts 60% of my damage to another element. Here's 3 nodes that I can pick up on the skill tree to cover the remaining 40% so that I actually have scaling. So interesting. I mean, maybe they do something interesting with it, but like I'm super skeptical about conversion abilities at this point. Like that's always pretty much what it's been. Like when they added what was it called? The only exception, I guess, is Tectonic. Not everybody converts 100% of Tectonic, but most people do. Winter Spirit. Like, when they added that, it was, like, exactly just that. People were just like, oh, I can pick this up for 3 points, and it also gives me damage, so might as well, so I can scale both types of deeps. Like, I hope they found an interesting way to like, make these sort of things interact, but in the current version of Path of Exile, it really doesn't seem like there's much of an option for these sort of things. You just kind of pick them up, or you don't and play a bad build that still might be strong, but worse if you would pick him up, or worse than if you were to pick them up. There you go. Purifying Flame. When cast, it sends a wave that when it arrives at the enemy deals damage in a circle around it and consecrates the ground. Okay, like I'm getting what they're trying to say, but that's is that really weird wording, or am I crazy? The spell then sends out a damaging shockwave that affects enemies in a large area or on any consecrated ground. Oh, this does 2 things. Finishes off surviving enemies from your previous Purifying Flame casts and creates interesting interaction with other sources of consecrated ground. Interactions to consider are the Inquisitor or Sulfite Flask ability to consecrate an area around Purifying Flame to damage multiple areas with a single cast. Oh, that sounds really interesting. Okay, yeah, that sounds interesting because they're introducing a lot of interesting ways of like generating consecrated ground. So maybe it's like a combo ability without really being one. Let's watch it again. I mean, it is a combo ability. I wish you could see it more apparently through the video. I wish the video would also show the range. It seems like it's got quite a bit, but For whatever reason, the guy's always hitting things in front of him. Maybe just due to the lack of damage. Interesting. Yeah, I wish the video did a better job of highlighting the mechanic, because he's just like kind of clicking a button and that's it. But I mean, it's just an introduction, so that's okay. But that sounds pretty cool. Wow. Yeah. I would like more of these sort of things. Like effects generated through other means of like instantaneous cast, like a potion or something. Wave of Conviction. Wave of Conviction is a new level 16 skill that sends out a cone of force that deals physical damage with a conversion of 25% to fire and 25% to lightning to every enemy in the area the wave impacts. Oh god. The wave lasts for a duration, which means that both area of effect modifiers and duration modifiers influence the area the wave can reach. However, casting the skill again ends the current wave after a short time. This means that you can choose to cast the skill infrequently to hit a large area or frequently to get more damage but less effective range before the duration ends. So you have to like really get deep in the shit. But I don't understand how duration scales it. The wave, oh, I guess it's just like how far the wave reaches, and like area of effect increases the angle or something. But like it's kind of like a spark is how I see it. Wave of Conviction also applies fire, lightning, or cold exposure to enemies, reducing their resistances. This debuff is applied based on the highest elemental damage type the skill does. Uh-oh. EE changes are here. This means that if you convert the physical damage to lightning damage, it'll always apply lightning exposure, granting minus 25% lightning resistance to enemies hit. This boosts the skill's own damage with repeated use, but also lets it function as a utility skill for casting on tough enemies alongside any other elemental spell. Ooh. Okay, so that's pretty impactful because I'm sure that they're going to be changing a lot of things, like for instance, elemental equilibrium to make it more like a combo thing. I wonder if they're going to do more with ignites because of that too. Maybe E will be replaced with a keystone that buffs the new exposure effects. Potentially, yeah. I can absolutely see that. I mean, if there was ever a time to address the EE, especially considering that they said that they're going to be reworking it in a major way last league, and then they didn't, like this would be it, right? This has to be it. Skills that reduce resistances. We standardized a few other skills that reduce resistances. Frostbomb now applies minus 25% cold exposure instead of its resistance being part of the Frostbomb debuff. Scorching Ray now applies minus 25% fire exposure when reaching 8 stages on enemies. This change was made to give you a choice in how elemental builds reduce enemy resistances rather than providing more options that can be combined to reduce resistances to a reasonable level. Oh, okay. Scratch literally everything that I just said. We'll provide more options for sources of fire, lightning, and cold exposure in the future. That's pretty major. Combined to reduce resistances to an unreasonable level. I wonder, you know? Just elemental builds. Yeah, but I mean, it's literally minus 25. Like, to lightning resistance. I think minus 25 to lightning resistance to enemies hit. Yeah, no, that's really powerful. Yeah, I wonder what they're gonna do with E. But I mean, I like that a lot more. Like using a separate ability and having actually an option based off of your main ability. Use another one to like obtain the exposure. Divine Ire. Divine Ire is a level 28 channeled skill that damages a few nearby enemies while charging up power and then unleashing in a sudden deadly beam. I think this shit's gonna be OP. It deals physical damage with 50% converted to lightning, gains additional stages for each enemy zapped with a chance to gain an extra stage from normal and magic enemies. Oh! Okay, well, that makes sense. Then that video that they showed us previously was just him getting really lucky with the amount of charges that he was getting on the boss, because it looked like he was getting more than what he should have been getting from like 2 mobs. Okay. Always gains an additional stage against rare and unique enemies. This lets you charge and unleash the beam rapidly if you position yourself well. Yeah, so this you could also determine from the video. The beam reaches maximum width at 10 stages and maximum damage at 20 stages. That's also cool. I like that it's not 2020. Like for instance, in the case of Flame Blast, it kind of, I don't know. Like the fact that you have to continue to charge Flame Blast after it's reached 10 stages for the AoE to like pretty much double. I don't like that a lot. So for these to be separate, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. If the damage numbers are good, Divine Ire should be really powerful. Like it's just got so much AoE and it's got single target capability, and it's converted to lightning too, which is like, I think Fist to Lightning is pretty much the best conversion that you can have on a spell. I mean, obviously for like damage purposes. So it's weird because in the video it also looked like it possibly had a target limit, but I don't think it does. Like the little beams have a target limit, so that people are not just clearing with the little lasers. Yeah, but that's a pretty cool ability. Yeah, overall these are looking great. GGG positively surprised me, like always, because I was trashing them from the beginning about like how fucking conversion stuff is boring. And I'm sure in terms of a skill tree it's going to be boring, but skill tree is pretty much the illusion of choice anyway. But they're being very creative with like passive support gems too, so maybe something good is gonna come out of it. The exposure system is probably like a really major thing, but we just know so little about it at this point because they're gonna have to be adjusting a lot of other things to really be able to tell where something like this is going. Yeah, Purifying Flame looks boring. But might be really cool. Wave of Conviction looks very D2 to me and might be pretty cool. I don't know how big of a fan I am of the fire and lightning conversion. And then Divine Ire. Divine Ire's juicy. This isn't a trailer. These are boots. March of the Legion. Legion boots. +2 to level of socketed aura gems. Socketed gems are supported by level 25 blessing. 260 increased armor and energy shield. 14 to all elemental resistance, 28% increased movement speed. Blessing support. Supported aura skills reserve your mana for a very short duration and grant their effect for a longer duration, as opposed to reserving your mana and persisting indefinitely. That's fucking really cool. Oh, but why are they... Oh, why don't they have life? It's actually pretty cool. That's like... kind of like how you're playing War Banner with Mind Over Matter. And you've got that interaction where you kind of have to think, hey, do I want more HP now? Do I have to prepare for this? Because I have to prepare, right? I have to equip a War Banner, and then it reserves my mana. But what if something hits me really hard, and then I need my mana to survive? But I have to get it ready in advance to be able to use it on the boss. Otherwise, I don't get adrenaline, like that sort of thing. We don't have enough buttons. Oh yeah, I guess the boots don't matter because we don't have enough buttons for skills anyway, so. Would I rather use this or roll double strike? What do you guys think? Yeah, you guys are right. Never mind. Shit boots. No key bindings. Garbage game. Yeah, but that's cool. I like that a lot. It's very more interactive gameplay, the better. That's a really fun design. Again, if you've ever played a Mind Over Matter character with War Banner, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where like you have to make that trade-off. You want to do the damage, but you don't want to give up the mana. But like circumstantially, you know that it's way better to do that thing. This is how GGG keeps their skills in check. Lack of buttons. True. Yeah, but I like this design a lot.